Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the LG Ultragear presents Tec Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. I'm your host and caster for today, Universe, and with me by my side, I got my man Salty. And today, it's going to be a huge matchup coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. 4 p.m. game was about the bottom of the table, but the 8 p.m. game is about the top of the table. We've got the match screen coming up in front of you to show what we have in store for you, and it is Team EXO going up against Force One. A spicy match indeed. Salty, what do you think about this matchup?
It is going to be the main event of today. I'm pretty sure a lot of people waited for this matchup. Of course, Team EXO and Force One, they are at the top of the table, and which basically means that this matchup is going to decide who is going to be at the tippy top of the top, right? It's basically two toppers of a class fighting against each other to establish dominance, to establish that hierarchy that I'm going to be the number one and you're going to be number two.
Yeah, that is for sure. We're gonna have to see who it is gonna be ending up right on top, and it is honestly a little bit, surprising to see how exactly their journey has been so far. Force One last time, they were the third place winners, right? They came second runners up after being beaten by Velocity Gaming in the lower bracket finals. But this time, they would probably want to win it and go all the way. They've got EXO standing in their way, but hey, we're gonna have a look at who exactly it is that have been shining throughout this tournament, as we have the MVP standings coming up in front of our screens, powered by W Black. And this is a set of players who have shown that they have what it takes to be at the very top, and one of them is going to be performing today, and that is none other than Knight Rider, the guy with the second most kills over here. He is constantly fighting to get on that first position and give SK Rossi a run for his money. And he's been doing pretty good job so far at that, don't you think so?
Absolutely. I guess Knight Rider has been killing everybody inside. And the fact that he does so much for his team as a Jet, it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm pretty sure that after the end of today's mashup, he might even topple SK Rossi and not overtake the number one spot. I'm pretty sure that he deserves that number one spot as well, considering the performance that he has put up throughout this tournament. But just like I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of other good players who are in store. So yeah, for sure they might not be in the MVP standings, but they are definitely going to be one of the key contenders for today's matchup.
Yeah, most certainly. There are a lot of players that have shown, the conviction that they need to win these matches. And we're going to have a look at the group standings first to see what exactly is the situation between these two teams, as I think they are both on the... Yeah, there it is. They're both on the same number of points. This is the last match of the season for Force One before the playoffs, which they have guaranteed qualified for, but it is about glory now. And they've got EXO to stop them from achieving that, who actually have two more matches, including this one. So, EXO, even if they lose out this one, they still have a chance to go up right on top and compete for that top spot. But not to forget, we've got somebody high on their heels, and that is Global Esports, who still have two matches left of their own. So, we're going to see how exactly it turns out. Oh, wait. Oh, was I mistaken? EXO has only one. Oh, sorry. This is also EXO's. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, this is a final match for both. I have a little bit of a mathematical problem. As you can see, I'm good at only science. So, yeah.
Okay. So maths is not included in science, ladies and gentlemen. That's word from Universe.
Maths is not included in science. That's why it's called two separate subjects. It's math and science, I'm talking about bare statistics. Bare statistics, Salty. It's not exactly, included. We have different kinds of things that come into math and different kinds of things that come into science. But what needs to come in today is the side of EXO and Force One to see who's going to end up on top, because This is the last time they're going to be scoring some points, and Global Esports have a chance to take it all back again to be group leaders as they were last time. But we're going to see the intro for one of these juggernauts, and that is Team XO. And they have been on quite a journey so far. Just one loss for them, 5 wins, and this lineup, it's something to be feared, isn't it?
It absolutely is something to be feared. Honestly, for Team EXO, they've had problems to get decent results going their way. For sure, they are at the top of the group right now, but they've really struggled to live up to the potential. This lineup should be one of the most feared lineup in the country, to be honest. You look at the caliber of players, you look at Sai right at the center, you look at Excali, who probably is one of the most explosive players in the country. You have Ghost, who is probably the best young talent we have in the entire region. We have Wimp, we have Blackhawk, players who can really, really stay calm and composed under pressure. This entire lineup as a whole is probably the number one on paper, but they have been struggling to get results going their way. But thankfully, this season of Gauntlet, they have done enough to actually secure the number one spot. Now, against Force One, I guess it's going to be their acid test. It's going to be their test to actually establish the dominance at the top. And if they do so, I would rightfully see that this team is performing to the best of its capabilities.
Yeah, it is true. We're gonna have to see how exactly this team performs, but in EXO, there's gonna be one player who might just shine a little bit brighter than the other. So we're gonna see the player spotlight coming in, powered by AMD Ryzen Radeon, and it is on the side of EXO to be Ghost, the man who's been probably the most surgical attacker on their side as the Jet. He's completely rattled up, enemy lines to absolutely nothing. He's turned them to rubbles, and he's made so much of an impact so far. And 207 kills, 172 deaths, and an ACS of 240 says it all, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does. I mean, we talked about it, right? We have players like Sai and Excali, right? Who would be your prime targets if you are their opposition. Now, you try and stay away from Sai and Excali, and this man hunts you from the shadows. Now, generally, he doesn't play the Omen, but the tagline fits him so perfectly. He plays the Jet, and just like you mentioned, he does those surgical strikes, and he's going to hit you from where you won't really expect. He's probably one of those clinical finishers who doesn't really miss a shot most of the time, and that KD ratio just speaks volumes of it. An average combat score of 240 also means that this guy is consistent, and this guy is consistent as hell. When he's on the server, he can tear down the opposition. Even if the rest of the team isn't really clicking. So I guess Ghost definitely deserves this position of player spotlight, but there's going to be a lot of responsibilities on this young shoulder against side of Force One. Let's see what he can actually pull off.
Yeah, we are gonna see what he's gonna pull off. We've seen him to be pretty much a knife that kind of cuts through almost everything for the side of XO against other teams. Today he needs to do the same, and who he's gonna do it against is the side of Force One, whose team intro is coming up right now as we see their lineup, which is filled with nothing less than superstars. We got Scargod, Knight Rider, RVK, Shivy, and Rafa. They have been players who have been loved for a long time now. They opened up their, potential in the last season of the Gauntlet, where they completely had an overwhelming lower bracket run against every single team that came up in front of them.
Yeah.
They beat pretty much everybody except for Velocity, and they showed that they have what it takes to be one of the tier 1 teams in this region. All of these players have performed individually, they've performed as a team, and here they are yet again to show what they can do. And every single player on this is, I'm a fan of, but more particularly that man with the Sheriff RVK
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be anywhere near him, even if it's an eco round.
Absolutely. I guess most of the teams, they have their star fragger in them. They have players like Knight Rider. They have players who generally pull off the duelist role. But imagine a Cypher running with a hat and a one-shot cannon. And that man is going to be RVK. His clinical finishes with the Sheriff is definitely something that he's known for. But I also think he's known for his backstab, the way he invades those enemy territory, the way he invades into enemy backlines and hunts them from inside. It's absolutely brilliant. His setups are also pretty crazy as well. He is one of the forces to be reckoned with, and this entire team as a whole is probably one team that every team in the region has feared. Force One, they can absolutely break any team apart on their given day, and I guess today it's going to be that test against Team EXO. Just like we mentioned, this is a main event for today, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, these big titans. Let's find out who actually gets the victory.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see who's gonna get the victory. It's gonna be a particular player who leads them to that victory, though, for the side of F1. And we're gonna see who that is as the player spotlight for this team comes up. And it is gonna be none other than Knight Rider. It's a battle of the Jets today, ladies and gentlemen. Both of the Jets are on the spotlight, and they've had pretty much of a beautiful performance across this entire season. Knight Rider more so than Ghost, I would believe, just because of the fact that this guy is on the MVP standings, 290 kills, 213 deaths, and an ACS of 265. Figures that are not easy to achieve, figures that he is pretty constant putting up. And this guy, be it alone, be it with a team, or be it in any situation, he just performs, right?
Yeah, he absolutely does. But again, there's a technical difference between what Ghost does and what Knight Rider does. I feel like Knight Rider plays a lot with the team. Team Force One, they're not individual. I mean, they for sure are individual fraggers. They are capable of putting up those kills and the numbers to their name. But it's not how Team Force One functions. They are a well composed unit, and that unit helps them really very much against big sides again in these big games. Of course, Knight Rider, the kind of player he is, he would need the control from their controllers. He would need the map controller as well as the information to work with, and once he gets that, he can dash inside and pretty much open it up like an open book. And that is something which I'm actually waiting to see. Will he be a tough fight against Ghost? That is something which we need to find out. Mechanically, I feel like both the players are very neck to neck against each other, but who has the superiority? I'm not really sure about it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. What is it gonna be in chat today? Ghost Supremacy or Knight Rider Supremacy? But right now, it's all about these two teams trying to prepare for each other, and where exactly they're gonna be preparing to fight each other is what we're gonna see up next. We've got the map reader screen coming up right about now, as the maps for today are going to be Split, Bind, and Haven.
Ooh.
All right, I'll bite. But the thing about this map poll again is it's the fact that Split and Bind, two maps that are honestly sometimes a little annoying to play on, but they love it. I think EXO have come up with a plan for Split. They've chosen it in their last three, maybe four games. They chose it against the side of Global Esports, where they did give a tough competition before they got beat, but they still have a very good Bind setup as well as a Split setup. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Haven is gonna be a whole different ball game, but Haven I still believe is in the hands of F1. I think F1 are much better suited to Haven than the side of XO, and I think that we could just see Haven today, given the stature of these two teams.
Yeah, we definitely might. I mean, I'll be surprised if we get to see a 2-0 for either side, honestly, in this game. And just like you mentioned, Split and Bind, they are very topsy-turvy maps, and it can go either way. We start off with Split, which again is a map where mid control is going to be quintessential. Generally, we see Split to be the decider, but no, not this time around. It is going to be Haven that's the decider, and Split is going to be the first map that we play. Now, Split has always been a momentum heavy map where your economic momentum is very hard to break for the opposite team. So I really want to find out what can Force One put up against the side of Team EXO, because just like you mentioned, Team EXO do have a plan on this map, and they have played this map quite some time in the last few games. So I'm pretty sure their setups are going to be crazy, but I'm also pretty sure that RVK and his gang, they have some plan to break that setup as well.
Yeah, I really hope they do because they have chosen defense over here, F1. And on the defense, they're going to have to try and do something a little bit more different than what they usually do because EXO, they're a team that has made Split kind of their, playground and they love moving around it. They know how to function, they know how to split the map up itself. And if given their right day, they're going to have the best of time on Split. So we're going to have to wait and see. For now, we're going to get up and running with what is F1 and XO fighting off against each other as the side of XO they might have chosen Split, but I don't think they know what's gonna hit him if they go into this match because we know that Rafa plays the Rays on this map, and there's gonna be a lot of
Hmm.
agent selection surprises I think that we might see because Force One are not really seen that much on Split. They don't have a problem with it, but they don't prefer to play it over Haven or maybe Ascent.
Yeah, pretty much. But considering the general agents that these guys play, I feel like they shouldn't really have a problem. I'm expecting a Viper from RVK in this one if he doesn't pick the Cypher, which is his default agent, of course. Uh, Nitride is going to play his default jet. I feel like he's going to be that important player for the team. But apart from that, Shivi on the Sova as well as RVK on the speculated Viper. I feel like these two players are going to be really, really important. I've seen RVK play that Viper before, so it's going to be interesting if he actually picks that up because, generally speaking, Viper has been one of those agents that can be a dark horse in the map of Split. Uh, because of the fact that you get that toxic screen as well as those snake bites, you do get the option to play. You do get the option to play a little passive. You also get the option to play with your lineups as well. So it is really, really helpful, especially in your attacking half as well. Not really sure if we might get to see a Viper or not, but I'm expecting one from both the sides. Also, there's going to be a Sage, I presume. Team Force One, they might actually shift from the Sova to a Breach because I guess I've seen them change Sova with a Breach, so that can be added into the mix as well. Not really sure what to expect. I guess we'll find out in the agent selection screen, which comes up in the next few moments.
Yeah, it is gonna be interesting. In the end, it is gonna be just one of these two coming out on top. So we're gonna see who that's gonna be. I've been excited waiting for this, and we're gonna be heading into the match real soon, ladies and gentlemen, as the agent select screen should be coming up in front of us. But thinking about this particular matchup, I think that, like you said, there's probably gonna be a Viper on this map. There's
Yeah.
probably gonna be, even I don't think there's gonna be a Sova, but there will definitely be a Sky, I believe, or one of these flashing agents as an initiator. I think it's gonna be Breach or Sky, either one of those two. It might be a Phoenix as a duelist or Reyna, but I think Raze is gonna be the go-to as Excali. We know how good he is with that Raze. We know how Rafa is good with that Raze, and yeah, it is going to be pretty great. Now, the thing that we're gonna talk about before the match begins over here, Salty, is I gotta ask you, who do you think has the edge over here in the first map?
Depends on the composition, man. I love to speak about the composition. I feel like that dictates the game. Right now, look at these two titans, right? It's really hard to predict, right? You can talk about statistics, you can talk about past results, and then you can speculate who's going to win. But that doesn't really make sense because honestly, the past is in the past, of course, and a team can definitely work up on it and come back stronger. But what really matters to me is what composition both these teams are going to pick and how is that going to pan out. Team EXO, for that fact, they have been switching roles way too much, especially Sai and Wim. They have been exchanging roles for way too often, right? You look at Sai, he sometimes picks up the Sova and gives Wim to play the KJ, and then there's also the other way around as well. So I personally would say that Sai should stick to the KJ and give Wimp the Sova role or the initiator role. But again, they have had changes in the composition and they've had changes in their results as well as a result of the change in composition.
Yeah, but the thing is, Salty, I don't think you've seen it, but this is a map where EXO play with KO, and that's Sai who plays the KO role. He gets the KO into place, and he comes out with the knife, the grenade, the flash, everything. Pretty much what a soldier would have, and Sai is definitely a soldier that leads his team to victory. But we're gonna see if today is gonna be his day or not, because we're definitely gonna see a KO come in. We're definitely gonna see a race come in, and we're definitely gonna see probably Sage come in. So we're gonna see what exactly, as we've been speculating so far. Here comes the agent selection in front of you guys. Uh, it is a small little error actually. uh,
uh,
yeah. There's a few players who got disconnected, but we're gonna be including me actually, as we're gonna be back in the game pretty soon, and
Yeah, I mean, doesn't really surprise me, honestly. Universe, he does this every time. Every time I call him for a 1v1, he's like, "Bro, I'm getting disconnected," and he's
1v1?
like,
You call me for a 1v1? Really?
"Yeah, I
You want to
mean,
go at it? You want to go at it?
guys, listen to me, all right? I'm easily the better player, all right?
Mhm.
I might put myself on the hammer during the cast, but I'm easily the better player, and
That's okay.
okay, it's
That's
okay.
okay.
Like the
You know
rank
what? You
doesn't
know
really
what?
matter.
One day,
He's like what?
rank.
He's like you. You're like what? A diamond immortal, and I'm like what? Silver. But I mean, what do you think of the rank it is? I just it doesn't matter in raw aim, in raw firepower. I'm gonna be the one who beats you, but I'm not really sure which team is gonna beat each other right now because both the teams. At this stage, I guess it's incredible that we have EXO. All these players, they have struggled to put results in their way, but now the fact that these players are starting to feel like a group, they've had changes in their lineup. Uh, Ghost coming into their lineup as well was a welcome change. I feel like the team functions a lot better with him being on the jet. So it's interesting to find that a single change can really uplift a team so much. And I just want to see how well this team actually functions. I'm not really sure if they have been tested against good sides with this new lineup. They have this small little rivalry against Team Valor right now, and they've had jabs at each other. They lost to them, they won against them in the gauntlet as well. And this is probably going to be the first big test that they're going to face.
Yeah, well, this is probably going to be it. We're going to have to wait and see who's going to be successful in passing this test. Is it going to be the side of EXO? Is it going to be F1? And the thing about this matchup is that it's not about the points. It's not about who's going to qualify for the playoffs because they both have. It's about the glory. It's about who is going to end up on top of the table and give competition to global esports. And we're going to have to see whether it's going to be the side of EXO. Is it going to be Ghost, who is the player in the spotlight that are carrying them, or is it going to be Knight Rider? Because I think both the Jets are definitely going to be playing a huge role today. Knight Rider, though, I think in the first map is probably going to go for that Sage. So, yeah, we're going to see what really happens. For now, though, there is the match that the players have loaded up on the server, and so have I. So, we're going to be going in pretty soon. And, yep, the agent select screen is going to be coming up on your screen now, ladies and gentlemen, with no delay whatsoever, as we are heading into Split.
Yeah, we definitely are. And look at that, Sai! He has picked up the KO, and Excali is hovering over the race. Blackhawk on the Omen, no surprises there. Wimp is going to play the KJ role. So there's only one initiator, that's going to be Sai. Interesting stuff, actually. Even Knight Rider is hovering over with the KO as well. RVK on the Viper, just like we mentioned. Shivi on the Breach, just like we mentioned as well. Scar God on the Astra. Now, a lot of debate, Astra versus Omen, but then I feel like both the players, both the agents are so much different. Ghost has actually picked up the Sage this time, and even Knight Rider has picked up the Sage. So
That's how
I
they're
mean,
doing.
all these jet players, they're like, no, we're not going to play jet this time around. Play a spotlight. It doesn't really matter because we're going to be bad at Sage. We're going to get kills with Sage as well. Just we're going to put up a mid wall and then try and heal ourselves back and try and clutch as much as possible. But it's interesting actually that both Ghost and Knight Rider pick up Sage in this one.
I mean, that was gonna be it because there's gonna be no Jet in this split map. We know that Jet is definitely good agent, but just not in this map. There's gonna be a Raze diff coming in. There's gonna be an initiator diff coming in. Now we're gonna go into game and see how exactly it's all gonna turn out because we've got a Breach against the KO. We've got two Razes pitted against each other. We've got an Astra against a Omen. And let's see how this is going to turn out. Here's the first game. It's the second game of the day. And a game that I think a lot of us have been waiting for. It is the side of F1 going up against EXO. And they need to defend them right now. So let's see how it all turns out.
Let's see how it all turns out. Things kick off. And right at the bat, we can see smoke coming in from Scargod. He wants to take that aggressive control, but look at Excali. He actually wants to break the wall and try and get as far ahead as he can.
They have crawled in mid. Rafa throws in his grenade and gets one back in return. Waiting for that to pop off so he can throw in that boom bot. And there it goes. No damage whatsoever, but it gives him information that somebody is down here. And now Sai trying to bait it out. He knows that he's trying to fake this one out for his team. And Knight Rider and co are not really perplexed by this. Almost finds the kill. He will finally. Here comes a flash as well. Shivy helping out his teammate a bit, getting a little too aggressive. Almost lost his life, but EXO still survived. They've got a player on half HP. Rafa, he's gonna get... Oh, Rafa, no way! He gets one! Make that a second! He wasn't spotted out by anybody, and now he has the bike!
He definitely has a spike right now. Sai, he jumps in. The classic, the spray comes through. Both of them on the reload. Oh my god, Rafa! You didn't do that. This is not possible. You just didn't do that. Wait.
Okay.
Wait, what?
I just want to see the reaction of the chat right now because Rafa. I mean, I don't even know how.
Face cams. Show me face cams, right?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen today. But unfortunately, the one thing about that round was Sai tried to sell a fake, didn't work out. Knight Rider took out one head, and then they decided to go back. And the thing about that was they didn't know Rafa was still down there, and Blackhawk completely unaware of the fact that he has to put a smoke down, and there's somebody that could be around him. Just gave up his life, and I'm already enjoying this matchup. It's only gonna get more fun. RVK throws down two heads, and he's gonna get more. It doesn't even matter that he's not gonna be able to use his abilities because all he needs right now are weapons, and they have a lot of it. F1.
Oh yeah. Here comes Rafa. The satchel comes through. Boombot as well. They're toying with the opposition right now. Blackhawk being completely destroyed. Rafa, once again, this man has been scintillating since the first half, since the first round, in fact. And RVK as well. You look at the way he gets those frags in mid. He vulnerables them and sprays them down comfortably. This is absolutely brilliant. 2 back-to-back rounds for Team Force One, and this is going to be a tough bonus for them, especially when XU is going to come at them with all their big weapons. But considering what Team Force One have been able to accomplish in the first two, I don't think it's going to be too hard for them. I guess they would just want to maybe drop a few weapons from the opposite camp, try and not let them keep it clean.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. The way that the side of F1 have been performing, at least in the first 2 rounds, they took pretty much a lot of control. A small little pause came in, but we're back. We're going to be back in just a second. The side of Force One, they've established a little bit mid-control, and they've got what they need, and they're trying to assert to the side, telling them, you might want mid, but we're not going to give it to you. And now that the buy has come in, Salty, for the side of XO, they can't take these fights.
Oh,
Knight Rider getting a little too ambitious with that Spectre against a lot of Vandals on the other side. Is gonna just go back because he knows better than to give up his life for free. But Scar God, RVK, you need to be careful, Blackhawk, because that's what happens when the timing gets against you. Oh, that's gonna give him a lot of nightmares, even though he's the omen of death.
True that. Shivy is ready with a flashpoint, but Excali, he actually walks straight through. Flashpoint doesn't really do much, but look at the gravity well. It's perfect. And Knight Rider with the spray. Rafa, he was actually taken down by Wimp, in fact. The Sheriff not really doing much. Knight Rider stuck in a very precarious position, and Sai is going to get the kill for him. 2v3 right now. It can still be welcome for Team Force One if they can get a few kills going on. Scar God as well as RVK. They still have 3 stars available. This is very doable at this point, Universe.
Yeah, it is. F1, they have weapons. Sai eating a lot of bullets, but he's going to get away to safety somehow. EXO have probably done enough because the time's ticking out, and this is going to be a little bit more difficult. Scar God, only good for 1 as EXO clean up shop. And it's going to be Force One to give away the first round on the bonus. And that's going to be completely A-okay for them. Because they kind of expected it. They threw down 3 weapons. So I think that's good enough, right?
That's a win.
Yeah, they're going to make them reinvest into this next round. And gonna give EXO a little bit of a thinking matter because they're either gonna have one Spectre because look at the money. Oh no, they have weapons all across. It's just gonna be half armor. Okay, that's good. Still better than a Spectre.
Scar got early on. Grenade comes through and he's been pushed back as well. Team EXO, they've been trying to explore this mid avenue way too much. They've been trying to break the mid wall and try and explore B heavens, but this time they're actually moving towards rope room. Now Blackhawk is still outside the A main region. He can actually pinch down the A defenders at this point. RVK, he realizes that this can be an A hit from mid as well, so he deploys the snake bite.
Look
The
at
Viper
this
Spit comes in as an insurance policy.
Look at that map. It looks like a tree. It looks like a tree.
Alright, it looks like a tree, ladies and gentlemen. Knight Rider with the spray. It looks like a dead body, but Ghost, he's gonna return that Rafa. In prime position, he's just gonna wait. Even Wimp has been taken down. Rafa not prime position. Ghost, another frag for him, a 2v4 right now. This is not good. Viper, he's lost his ultimate. Chevy, oh my god, Sai's actually not looking in the right direction with the wall. He's gonna go to his position. Now, this gets a little difficult in spite of the fact that Sai is 23 HP practically. I don't really think Chevy has any chance of winning this, and that is one of the reasons why they're actually falling back. And this is a good decision. Honestly, you don't want to drop a lot of weapons from your end. Instead, try and get a few exit frags and try and hurt the opposition as much as possible, because 2-2 doesn't really hurt at this point, doesn't it, Universe?
Yeah, I think it's a good call to save this one because they know that they don't have as much economy as they would have wanted, and as a result, they're gonna have to force themselves to save this. Chevy throwing down that fault line just as a insurance policy to check if somebody's coming. They're gonna get stopped, concussed, and killed by the spike, but not gonna happen. Nobody there. EXO survived with 3 players, and they're gonna have weapons to buy because now they've got economy, winning 2 rounds back to back, and they're gonna throw the side of Force One into a little bit of a perplexed situation where they're gonna have to probably force around these weapons. Oh no, they're gonna only buy shares. Okay, that's still respectable. If they get RVK on that weapon, as good as he's on that Spectre, they might as well give him whatever he wants.
Yeah, once again, similar setup from EXO and Wimp. Time and again, he has been challenging Skargor to these 1v1 duels, and he's been winning them quite a lot. RVK, he doesn't really have a lot of vision to work with. Gets 1 frag. That's good, but Wimp is going to shut him down. 3v4, and the resurrection comes through. Sai, he has so much control. The flash does come in, and Rafa is going to get the frag. Knight Rider is in prime position with the Sheriff, but no, Wimp is going to shut him down. Rafa does have the showstopper to work with, but I don't think he's going to use it right now. 2 important frags comes through, and Shivy's the only one who, oh my god, fancy footwork from Excalibur. Doesn't really matter because Shivy's going to shut him down eventually. 1v2 right now. Blackhawk in the back lines. I'm not really sure if Shivy expects this. Oh. This can be an A hit, but Shivy's actually moving in the right direction. Blackhawk is in prime position. Who peeks first? It's going to be Blackhawk, and he gets a frag on Shivy.
Woo! That is a quite a bit of you know, I don't know what exactly you call it, that exchange of positions, the exchange of frags that keep coming in, EXO coming out on top of everything. Force One are just a little perplexed in their entire situation of holding down these defensive lines so far. I don't know what exactly it is, but the last 3 rounds, they've not been as good as they were in the first 2. It's just an immediate switch, like within seconds. And this mid-region, as heavily as it's been contested,
yeah.
Rafa just sprays a couple of bullets, and Ghost actually eats all of them.
Oh,
and he's
no.
had to use his heal already. And another nade throwing in. That's going to give a little more damage, as the side of EXO are going to eat a lot of things from what Rafa is feeding them. And
I like this.
To a standstill. It's a little bit of...
Look at this. So they have 2 players in the B Heavens region. They have RVK. So they have practically pinched down that mid aggression to just the mid region. They try and venture out too much through the rope rooms and through vents. they get taken down. Now Scargod has been really struggling against Wimp and Sai in this B main region. He definitely needs a lot of support, and the showstopper is there just enough. Now, the thing that really matters at this point is what can Team EXO practically do. They can hit the A side because the Heaven region has been left open, but 3 players on the B side, this can be a bit problematic. X-Kali brings out the showstopper. Rafa is gonna shut him back. Ghost! A 1-for-2 trade, or rather a 2-for-2 trade. Scargod finally delivering, but Blackhawk is in position. Oh, no, it's a shout trap. Recovers. Sai comes through as well. Does get Knight Rider, and only RVK stays.
The Scar Peak, not gonna work this time. Probably only the Vandal more so than it does with the Phantom. He had a Phantom in his hands, and I really think that he would have wished that it was a Vandal. But hey, whatever it was, he should have been good enough to use it. He got 1 kill, and that's all he got. And Force 1 have now lost 4 of their rounds consecutively. EXO are putting up a bit of a performance now over here, Salty, because they clearly have economy for a lot of rounds, at least 2, if not 3. And they've again put the side of Force 1 into an eco. So that's going to be a lot more money in the bank. And they're just getting richer and richer by the second.
Yeah. All these players have been suppressed. You look at the toxic stream go up, but it's not going to do much because most of the players have actually made their way in. Rafa does have the showstopper to work with, but also possesses the charging scale. He's going to shut him down immediately. Even RVK, it's completely shut down. And slowly and steadily, Team EXO, look at their formation. I love this. Blackhawk always staying in the backlines, trying to be as cheeky as possible, trying to get into complex position. Shivy, the only one who gets a frag in this engagement. Even Scargod comes through, but what can he possibly pull off? Of 1v4 required of him. The opposite team, they have 2 ultimates available. And Ghost is going to find the frag, but EXO, they look as calm as they possibly can. Their executes have been brilliant. They have been mixing it up really well. I mean, look at this. Right, initially, Team Force 1, they've been putting up that mid wall, but they've been breaking it just as it was put. But now Team EXO, they mix things up and they try and hit the A side. And it's not just that, because Wimp inside, they have been pressuring the B main region quite a lot as well. They have been taking the engagement against Scargod and they have been winning it time and time again. That keeps multiple avenues and multiple options for Team EXO to work along. And that is going to give Force 1 a lot of troubles to work with.
Yeah, it is. And here's another mid push. I love how EXO always take mid so aggressively. I love their attacking side on split, and X-Kali blows the head of RVK. Rafa looking at A main, seeing that there's nobody there, but it doesn't even matter because here comes the push towards B. Another flying X-Kali shut down in his tracks, as it doesn't really matter because Scargod, he's got 1, he's got the spike, he's in good positioning. Here comes the flash, he runs out through it, but he's gonna get taken down for sure. And there it is. Rolling Thunder for a Shivy available.
As well as showstopper.
It is available. They could try to use it, but they've been detected now. And they're holding. You could see that immediate hesitation. Here comes in Rafa. Again, even he gets blown out midair. And Shivy, all alone. And gonna get spammed down as well. So Blackhawk takes the 3rd kill of the round. And I think it's become kind of a notion now, right? To get completely shut down midair if you're at Raze.
Yeah, right. I mean, imagine this. You try and pull off a flashy move. You try and traverse a lot of distance with a double satchel, and then you really catch the opposition off guard. But at this point, it all just feels like the satchel gives the opposition that much amount of time to counter the showstopper than it actually would if you just not use the satchel. But wait, they're pro players. I'm just a silver. I don't speak. They're the ones who do the talking. RVK with the Sheriff once again. They have been reduced to a eco once again, but Nitride actually pulls off an amazing shot on Sai. We didn't really catch that, but a 1-tap with the Sheriff, that's always gorgeous.
Yeah, it is. X-Kali, he's tapped at RVK from the server, so no more Sheriff shenanigans from that man right there. Alpha still around the corner on ramps. He's jiggling around. And this push comes in, but Wimp completely deletes both of those players. Shivy and Skargard out of their element right now. They don't really know what hit him. They did not have weapons to fight it out as greatly, I know that, but still. It's leaving two players, Knight Rider and Rafa, all alone as they are gonna come towards the vent room where Ghost is waiting for them. Rafa spots him out. Gunfight between three players here, two on one side, one on the other. A Sage who can probably cause a little damage, but Rafa takes him down. Blackhawk comes around the corner to help out his dead teammate. And with the teleport, he's gonna throw in a little bit of Enigma on the hands of Knight Rider. Yeah, he knows he has an idea. Knight Rider, no, he doesn't. With the teleport, he expected it, thought he would be a fake teleport, but Blackhawk, 200 IQ controller. What else would we expect from him?
Absolutely. This man has been dismantling the opposition for quite too long. I mean, I love the way Blackhawk has been trying to be as sneaky as possible. For sure, when you take the Omen, your smokes do limit you to certain extents, your mobility. There are certain mobility issues which you don't really have with the case of Astra, but then Blackhawk has been doing justice to the Asian that he has actually picked up, and he has been really getting a lot of important frags as well. Skargard trying to be as composed as possible. Another Viper Spit that has been committed in the mid region as well, and look at Sai. He's been trying to pressurize the same angle time and time again, but I don't think they'll be able to infiltrate this Viper Spit.
Quite sure if they can. That's exactly why
Rolling
they're going
Thunder
towards A. Rolling Thunder is available, which he might not use. Rafa misses the timing, but he gets the timing on only one. Finds Wimp and throwing in his Boombot as well. Knight Rider gets Sai, and that's a lot of damage being exchanged. EXO still on top of things in terms of map control, as they're gonna get the plant going down, and a 4v3 retake has to come in, but the revive is also available, so F1 are in a good position. Make that a 4v2. Rafa gets another one. And make that a fourth. RVK to almost shut things down as Excali's left alone. Cannot get a kill. And Skargard to clean things up as Force One are gonna finally respond after giving away 7 rounds.
7 consecutive rounds, and then finally a third for Team Force One to work with. Thankfully, they'll have weapons that they are going to carry forward, but nothing really to worry on the opposite camp, because look at their bank. They are probably the richest team in the world right now. I mean, not the richest, because of course Sai has invested in the AWP. Not really sure how that's going to pan out, but I'm pretty sure he has a plan to use it. But things also look merry at the other side. Honestly, Force One, they have weapons to work with as well as shields as well. It's just a matter of time if Sai gets the first frag. Oh no! 26 HP! This man has been tagged quite a lot. Skargard, brilliant job over there. Even the mid territory has been left quite open. Universe, and this is something which is surprising. They don't deploy the mid wall anymore right now. They are welcoming Team EXO to try and be as aggressive as they want in the mid region, and they'll try and pinch them down from both the sides. I guess that's the plan, because RVK is coming in from the vent room as well, and they have 2 players in the form of Breach as well as Rafa to try and shut down the aggression in B Heavens.
Force One. They've got a healthy defense this time around towards mid. They know that they cannot give EXO any more ground to play with, and they've done that very well this round. Sai still lingering around over there. And Knight Rider's actually given up the A site. Oh, this could be a little bit detrimental. Knight Rider, the only line of defense. He spots Blackhawk as well. Finds his kill. Trying to heal himself up. Excali goes in. He's got the showstopper online. He could go further in, but he checks side. There's no time on the showstopper left anymore. He needs to fire it up, but he's not going to. He holds it on, and it's just gone. Now in a 4v5. Make that a 5v5. RVK's back on track. Skargard, right now deep in the enemy lines. Could potentially find an opening if he wanted to towards that ramp position, where Sai is waiting for him along with Wimp. RVK gets the better of him though. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. Wimp goes down after getting 1 kill, and now it's all left to Blackhawk and make that Blackhawk make that Ghost and Excali. 2 of the explosive players on this side. There's gonna be a lineup. Excali and Ghost lined them up. Beautifully played. And the last man standing is going to be Shivy, left to wondering what exactly happened.
Oh, no.
He might get the kills, but it doesn't even matter because the time has ticked far too much. And the only thing that he's going to take in the next round is his Vandal.
Oh my god,
Last
poor
round before
Shivy.
the switch.
But it's not just poor Shivy. I feel like in the entirety of Team Force One, they were torn apart as they started to funnel in through the A entrance. Ghost and Excali. What were the odds? What were the odds of all three players to line up? For both these players, like, it's insane.
I mean, you could look at it even before they came in. They all three were lined up while coming together itself. So kind of happened because the angle was as such.
What?
Oh god. Completely
Lucky
obliterating
shot.
Shivy! Hello? Shivy? What the hell did he just do?
At this point, we've seen a lot of crazy plays. Ghost spots RVK, no crazy shenanigans. Sai with the AWP is going to take down Skargod as well. Nitride all by himself. He does have a pretty long sword, but
I don't think he can throw it, can he? Not like Sai can. Sai, speaking about Sai, he's around the corner. Yeah.
I mean, you should be able to throw your knife, shouldn't you? I mean, practically speaking, if you don't have weapons, you don't have bullets, you should be able to throw your knife. I mean, at least that's something I would do. I would throw my weapon at my opposition if possible.
Really? You would throw your weapon? Guys, you need to realize this is exactly how you should not be.
Switching sides.
Ghost, I know as much as you would
How to
like
not
to
play
revive-
Valorant.
Yeah, by Salty 101.
Biosalt. Wow.
Yeah, but the thing about it is Ghost tried to revive his opponent. I think that's the kind of thing that he learned from you, Salty. Because you probably know that you probably don't know that you can't revive your opponents, but you still go for it, don't you? Because,
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you do.
I mean, why not? Worth a try, but look at the score line though, Universe. 9-3. Do you think it's worth a try for Force One to actually keep pushing forward? I feel like so. The ball has rolling a bit too much at this point. What can possibly Force One do? They need a lot of rounds back to back.
Yeah, they need a lot of rounds, and they have a perfect scoreline to maybe inflict a curse.
Oh yeah, they do.
Sai? In the corner, he's got a little somebody waiting for him. A little Christmas present. And ooh, look at that! RVK, where was he looking? What? Excali finds two, make that a third! His utility always comes up clutch. As Ghost puts down the wall towards mid and denies Skargod of any avenues to run in and help his team. As he's just jumping around there, breaking the wall. And probably Shivy's calling out to him what exactly he needs to do. And he's made his way across the wall. But I don't really see how he's going to help him out. Shivy's being cornered. Scally comes out, blinded, but a jumping Shivy actually finds a kill. 2v2, Force One still doable for them. They are on the side and change positions with the defenders. They are looking to go into the A side and get the plant. Blackhawk finds one head and Ghost finds the other. It's going to be round number 10 for XO.
They've been so clinical with their shots. You look at Blackhawk, you look at players like Ghost, you look at players like Sai right now. They've absolutely terrorized the opposition at this point. Speaking of terrorized, honestly, who can terrorize you more than what Excali did? I mean, he's just flying carelessly in front of you with his double satchel. Even if you are standing with your weapon, he just doesn't care, right? He's just flying in front of you as a distraction, maybe. And then there's other guys who is just cleaning you up. What can you possibly do in these situations? Of course, you need 2 kills that way, but you cannot really get 2 kills always. Team EXO, they have superior weaponry. They also have superior positions, but Team Force One, they're trying to pull off a B execute, are they? At the flasher breach, now the B entrance has been walled off. The only region that they can explore is going to be mid. Sai does get stained. Stunned, rather. Deploys the flash as well, but Nitride is actually moving towards the rope room now.
This is an approach that I think a lot of times EXO have taken. They're pulling a page out of their book. But on Eco, I'm not quite sure. Cargo Actually gets a kill onto XO. Sorry, Sai, as he was blind. And now he has a weapon to work with. Spraying down under that smoke. Thinking somebody's gonna be there. Lakhs, he saves his eyes, but he cannot save his life. As Rafa also gets another one. And somehow Force wanna make this eco work. And I love it.
They just never give up, do they? Absolutely don't.
Nope.
Here comes a fault line, but nothing really on the back of it. RVK in the back lines. This man can really change things up. And also Rafa, yes. Both these two players.
Last player standing.
X-Kali goes down. Wimp all by himself. Even Shivy is going to get the frag. This is a wonderful, wonderful round. Look at a flawless eco victory, right? And that basically means you completely destroy the other's economy. Team EXO, they are reduced to a bunch of pistols right now. Probably if they force once again, they might buy a few SMGs, but I don't think they're going to force. On the other camp, though, they have superior weaponry. They have got a Vandal on Shivy. They've got Spectres all across mostly, so it's going to be a little interesting this time around because 4-10 the scoreline. They need 6 consecutive rounds to even things up. And Force One, the kind of lineup they are, they for sure they have the talent to actually pull that off, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Once again, they try and explore the mid avenue. It doesn't even matter if Knight Rider gets taken out in B main region because at this point they're not even interested in B. They're actually trying to hit the A side. They also have RVK near A main where he's trying to distract Sai as well as another player along with him. I believe RVK is going to be the key to their aggression. Rafa actually gets taken down by X-Kali. Or vice versa. Scargod even gets Sai as well. This is all lining up perfectly. RVK just driving by Wimp over there. And a 4v2 right now. It could be easy cleanup duty.
For you. Spike planted.
Cleanup duty it is. Team EXO have lost 3 of their players. They've taken them only 1. They're gonna take down another. Yes, Ghost actually gets one. Okay, that's another weapon dropped. Forcing them to reinvest into this. And Ghost is gonna be looking for more.
Yeah, pretty much.
Salty. I have a question for you. Now that we've got Team EXO pretty much on the lead for like 5 rounds, this is gonna be another one. And a Force One have taken back. Do you think that this half might change? Do you think that Force One are gonna be able to mount a comeback even though now EXO are gonna get their first buy?
Yeah, I sort of think so because Force One isn't really a lineup that would let this map go away just because of the fact that there's a buffer between them and the other team, right? Trailing by 5 rounds isn't something that Force One is new to. I guess they have overcome situations like this before as well. Don't want to bring it up, but if you remember correctly, there have been worse situations. They have been in worse situations and they have overcome worse situations as well. So yeah, anything can happen. And interestingly enough, Ghost has actually walled off the A main region. So no RVK there. Blackhawk all by himself in the B side. There definitely is Wimp in heavens, but I think taking out Blackhawk would practically give away the site to Team Force One.
Yeah, that is going to be the case. He is in a very open space right here. Oh, he actually spots one. Rafa goes down. Blackhawk peeks out in the nick of time. And there's nothing that his teammate over there could do about it. Oh, no. EXO. Early, easy advantage for them. As Scargod gives away his position. And EXO know exactly what's happening now. They know what to do. They know Knight Rider is B main. They know that the side of Force One are trying to hit a B split over here. And it's not going to be lickety split unless Wimp has something to say about it. But he doesn't. Scargod takes down one. Blackhawk now in a better position. Finds one more. X-Kali comes in to help him out. A pinstripe kill feed coming up. Green and red and green and red. As he got a 2v2 coming in. Sai trying to deny the plan for as long as he can. 30 seconds left. The Cosmic Divide is going to give Scargod some maneuver to move around. And he takes the spike. He's going to go down and get the plan coming in. That's going to be heard because that's in the corner of where exactly these guys are. Sai eats a bullet to his head, but Ghost is going to be quick on the trade, and it's not going to go past Scargod. Scargod finds the kill. It's going to be 6th on the board, and Team EXO are slowly slipping up. 9-3 curse. Is it coming alive?
Mm. 93 curse, is it, huh? I mean, for sure. I mean, a lot of matches have turned around from this 93 scoreline. For sure, it definitely is a curse, but I mean, still 4 rounds to go. You can't really say if Team EXO will slip up. At this point, they have a decent buffer, but they don't have a buy to work with. And Team Force One, they're coming at it with their full strength. Again, the wall is going to be invested, but look at where Ghost is. He's having a high ground for himself, but for how long? That definitely is the question. Xkali does have this, the showstopper available. Trying to be as cheeky as possible. Gap in the wall! Still no investment of the showstopper. Aftershock comes in. Shivy, he gets it.
That's not gonna be great.
Oh.
Shivy even finds Ghost through his own wall. That's probably gonna be the end of EXO for this round, unless they can find one kill. Die around the corner of A. Just the only one there is gonna eat a bullet straight to the head with Rafa's Vandal. It's gonna be the side of EXO to probably, you know, get maybe one kill. I really hope they get one kill, or maybe two, to drop some weapons, but I don't think ScarGod is gonna allow that.
One enemy remaining.
He missed the first few bullets, but not the next few, as RVK confirms the next, and it's gonna be a flawless round for the side of Force One. And they're inching in closer and closer. They're creeping up into the shadows right next to where EXO is sitting. And there's another buy for EXO now, Salty. But if they lose this, yet again, it's going to be another eco that I think that they do not want, because the momentum, like you said, Split is a momentum-based map, and it looks like the momentum has just shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really hard to actually fight off an eco when your opposition is just rolling away with the game itself. Right now, Side does have the AWP to work with. I guess that can be the key to actually open things up. If he can get the first pick, if he can establish that man advantage, I guess Team Force One can be weakened a little bit. But Ghost has actually moved from the A main region to the B Heavens area, where he's deciding to wall it off completely. That does leave rope room as well as vents completely empty, so Team Force One can try and venture out in those locations, but at this point, I guess there's going to be an engagement in B main! Blackhawk and Sai, both of them get kills. Blackhawk gets double. Sai couldn't really count on that. Deploys a fragment. Rafa taking a lot of damage to make, so they've actually turned things around. This can be the round that decides where the game is going to go. And it finally looks like Team EXO, they found the groove back. And they're gonna put brakes on the tracks of Team Force One.
Finally, a response coming in from EXO to try and get their wheels on the ground and rolling, because they've had a tough time doing it so far. And the thing about Force One is that they had their momentum so far running in, but that round, I think it was kind of repeated, wasn't it, Salty? Because they tried to do the similar thing again, and EXO clearly knew what they were gonna do, and they had an advantage. And Sai, that guy with the operator, is just a beast.
Absolutely, he certainly is a beast, but I want to see what Force One can actually react to this right now. They are cornered at this point, just like you can see. Just one round away from match point for Team EXO, and this is where Team Force One, they really struggle again, trying to explore that mid avenue. The AWP doesn't really work at this point because it is in the A site right now, and considering where Shivy is, I guess he can cause a lot of trouble. He does have the Rolling Thunder available as well. He won't find anybody in that direction, I guess.
Oh boy, here comes the Rolling Thunder and the fault line, but Sai, he's gonna hold his ground towards A main and take him down. They're coming into this A Heaven position, but Ghost and Wimp completely obliterate them, and that push from the side of Force One is denied to a level of 0. There is no level to it at all. There is no push, there's nothing, and a flawless match point coming in for the side of EXO. What a play.
Match point.
Force One, they went towards mid, they tried to fake it, they gave a lot of sound cues, they took control of mid, they had rope room, they came back towards A. I don't really know, it was almost like they ran in circles, because did you see that Viper wall that I think it was put up by RVK? It's cutting towards that place. I don't know why that wall was up when you know that there's players on the other side and you need to take fights, because that Viper wall is not something like a Sage wall. You can spam through it, and they ate the spam and they died. circles they went around mid and A heaven, and they completely ended up in their own grave. So this is now a do or die. And Salty, I hate to say it, but I think it's over.
Yeah, even I think it's over right now. Excali in a precarious position, eating the gravity well, of course, but Shivi has actually been suppressed over there. Rafa does have the showstopper available, but Excali has one of his own as well. So it can be an interesting trade-off, but talk about trades. Sai gets away with murder with the AWP, but Rafa actually wins the duel against Excali as well. And here comes a showstopper. Ghost is actually taking down Knight Rider. Sai not taking any damage from the AWP. Instead, he takes out Rafa. He has sealed him in another dimension. Wimp in elbow, all by himself in the A side. Two players trying to be cheeky. If they can clear out the A side, this can be interesting. The Viper Spit comes through as well. Nobody checking Wimp, and Wimp casually tapping them to non-existence. This is incredible from Team EXO. I feel like this team has improved quite a lot, and the way they play Split, it looks like they're unbeatable on this map.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue with that statement. They do look very, very potent on this map, and they've been potent since the time that they've practiced this map. And you know, the thing about EXO on Split is that they've practiced, and they've practiced a lot, and they've, you know, perfected the way that they play around these avenues, which are so tight, so cornered, and almost perfect for their kind of play with, you know, which is up front, in your face, trying to push you down into the ground kind of a play. They're aggressive. They like to take aggressive peeks. They like to be, you know, exactly where you are. They want to put their foot on top of yours, and they want you to feel a pain. Let's have a look at the match highlights to see how exactly EXO did pretty much everything right except for a few rounds, and how Force One kind of give away rounds. But their start was something different, man. They started off really well the first two rounds, and especially this first round. I thought this was gonna be really, really entertaining, and it was. But this was cherry on the cake at the very beginning. It's like there's no cake. We already have the cherry ready.
I mean, true that, Rafa. What did he just pull off? And that was criminal against Sai. But nonetheless, I feel like that had no malicious intent. His pistol had no bullets. So what you possibly do? You try and run at him with a knife. So yeah. But again, there's a lot that can be drawn out of it. I guess it's all for entertainment factor. But nonetheless, we actually move on. And the first half of this map was actually pretty interesting. I feel like both the teams were on equal footing. Team EXO, for that fact, they did try and vary their attacks way too much. They tried to venture out in mid and try to get mid control as well. They try and go for the vanilla executes in the A side as well. Time and time again, Wimp was the one who was getting that frag against Scargod and just opening that avenue up. And when you have one important controller out of your game already, that becomes really, really difficult for you to actually cover up. And this was one of the scenarios where a possible retake was just made impossible because of the fact that Excali, as well as I believe it was Coast, to just line up three players to oblivion. Now 9-3 was the score line, but I still felt that Force One had what it takes to come back because of the way they play this first game, because of the way they play the first half. But after those 4 rounds, when Team EXO recovered from the eco rounds back to back, and when they shifted the momentum, we talked about how momentum heavy this map is. When they actually broke the curse of momentum and got that round, especially because of the Blackhawk 2K as well as Sai with the op, they were very difficult to stop. I guess this was the round that I'm talking about. Blackhawk gets 2 in, I believe, mid. Sai gets an amazing frag with the op, and there goes a round in their pockets. And after that, there was nothing that Force One could do.
Yeah, there was pretty much nothing that Force One could do. It was a bullet train that came their way, and the bullet train's name was XO. They did what they could. They pretty much had everything in control, I believe, but in the end, Force One, they had their small little run of getting a couple of rounds. They put it up to 7, but that was probably going to be it. Wimp, though, this last bit, I really love this. They didn't even bother to check after our RVK threw in that snake bite. there was nothing that they thought was going to be in that position of elbow. Skargod did look at it, but it was just too late. And now, because of that, we have a very strong EXO moving up forward as we're going to be going to another unpredictable map, and that's going to be Bind. And that is something that we're going to see a lot of today because we saw it earlier, and it was the side of Orgulus 5 who took it. This time, it's going to be EXO to face off Force 1. And now that they've taken their own home map, Force 1 need to pull this one out of their own because there's nothing that EXO don't have going for them right now. Momentum, firepower, the strats, everything are working out for them. And it's just for all to see. But hey, we're going to take a short little break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and grab our Red Bulls, which you should too. Every time that QR code comes up, you just need to go ahead and scan it. Get yourself some Red Bull. Me and Salty are going to be back in a few minutes to see if EXO are going to take this 2-0 or Force 1 going to take us all the way to map 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LG Ultragear presents TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. We have a matchup today that has been very explosive so far, and it is EXO who've taken up a little bit more of that explosion, and they have shown that they can cause damage when needed. F1 have fallen to the supremacy of what is EXO so far on the map of Split, at least, because they've got 13-7 victory on it. This is their map that they chose, and now we're going to Bind, ladies and gentlemen, which has been chosen by Force One. I was actually surprised that they didn't go for Haven. They could have probably gone for it, and maybe Bind could have been the the deciding map, but they chose to go for Bind, and I don't think EXO would have a problem with that. So, Salty, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I feel like Force One, they are pretty strong on Bind as well. I've seen them play. So I guess this was the team who actually started uh, that double initiator, the double controller setup on the map of Bind. I'm not really sure if they're going to do it this time around, because now the double initiator isn't really working all that much. The double controller alongside a Sage is something which really works well on the map of Bind. So we need to find out what the composition looks like. But for Team Force One, I feel like this is going to be their opportunity to kind of wrap things up and make a comeback in this series, because otherwise it practically is a 2-0 for Team EXO. Now, if Team Force One win this map of Bind Universe, there's a very high chance that they're going to take away the series with them as well, because Haven is their home turf. Everybody knows about it. If they get this map of Bind, of course, I think they would consider themselves one leg into victory already.
Yeah, you're gonna have to say that this definitely is one leg in towards that victory stand. But so far, we also need to consider that even though Force One have given it up, they still have what it takes to be on the top, right? So we're gonna have to wait and see what exactly it is. And the thing about it so far has been that EXO have always had the upper hand in terms of getting that first pick. They've been pretty good in terms of getting the engagements into their turn. They've done pretty well in terms of getting a team play coming on, getting a 2v1. Even if it's a 1v1, there's always players who have made sure that they've got the advantage individually to get, what they need in terms of man advantage. And yeah, EXO have just been on top of things completely. And we're going to see how exactly it's going to turn out in Bind, because I want to see if there's going to be a Sky and who exactly is going to be playing it. Is this going to be a Sage? Is there going to be, another agent, maybe a Breach coming in from the side of EXO, or F1 for that matter? Is Shivi going to probably play that Breach again? It's all for us to speculate, as we're going to see these players jump into the server any second now. And we've got EXO trying to take on the side of Force One yet again to stop them from stopping them. So it is a counter turn that's going to be coming up. And as we head in to speculate about what the agents are going to be, we're going to see what exactly is going to come up on our screens. And there it is. EXO and Force One are going to be locking in their agents, as Shivi yet again is going to go for that breach. I love it. I love the breach on Bind, and the Raze as well. Rafa and Excalibur both should be going for it again. Scargod, with his usual, going to stick to that Astra, as Knight Rider this time going for the Jet, and that's what we love to see. There is no Sentinel.
What?
There is no Sentinel, not even a Sage for the side of Force One, and that could be a little concerning, because, Salty, on the other side of things, we've got 2 Sentinels.
I mean, that definitely makes sense, but Scargod is the only controller, right? And we have 2 initiators on the side of Team Force One, Reach and a Sova. You get flashes, you also get information, Right, and that's perfect for your attacking side of things, but on the defense, doesn't it look a little weak on paper? I mean, on paper it does, but I'm not really
Yeah.
sure how that pans out in practicality. If you have a look at team EXO for that fact, I guess they have a much more balanced lineup. They have a Sova who's able to give them information. They have Ghost on Sage, Sai on KJ as well. And the rest of it, we're gonna talk in game because, ladies and gentlemen, we are kicking things off. Team EXO, they are on defense, and Team Force One, they're on attack. Again, it's gonna be Team Force One's opportunity to really put up rounds on the board right now before they start their journey in defense. I feel like they should be able to establish that buffer between them in the first half of the game itself. But we'll just find out, ladies and gentlemen. 3 seconds on the clock before we kick things off. And here we go.
Here we go indeed. It is the side of Force One on the attack this time. And they're gonna have to do something different in the way that they have an attacking advantage on Bind. Sai, he is with the Killjoy and he's going for a little aggressive peek. He always has that blood of a duelist in him where he wants to go in aggressive and get what he wants for his team. But right now, he's gonna have to fall back because he knows that he needs to stay alive. Blackhawk is so close to the smoke. He could be in a very dangerous position, and he is. Finds one kill. They don't know where he is. Finally, they turn him on, but he gets two. Blackhawk has done just about enough for his team to come and clean up shop. And it looks like Wimp might just do that. Ghost heals himself up, and they've got now a 2-week and then a retake. That is really, really possible because there is one player who's down to 32 HP, and it's RVK who's playing on the Sova this time. His versatility is something to be adored, but this match, I'm not quite sure it's going to be good enough for him to pull out this round.
32 HP. Oh my god, he actually takes down Wimp, but Ghost finds the head, takes him down. Wonderful stuff. Team EXO, they get the first round on board, but they did for sure struggle, right? And that does have to come through because of the fact that Team Force One, they over-aggressed a little bit. They did get control of site, right? But Blackhawk was giving away 2 kills and he got away with murder there. Again, there was a problem with Knight Rider pushing up to CT as well, trying to take down a lot of these players, but coming in from the B side. But again, him losing life was not really necessary. Instead, they could have just gone for post-plant positions and set up more potent crossfires instead. But, well, it's all done and dusted. We'll not really speak of past. We'll actually talk of what's about to come right now. And that's basically going to be Team EXO on Spectres and Team Force One reduced to a bunch of pistols right now.
Yeah, it is an anti-eco round. But the thing about this map is that, you know, the one thing that we've seen in common pretty much for every team is the one thing that we're not seeing in common for both of these teams. That is, actually it's common, it's a similarity, is the fact that there's no Viper present, which is usually a go-to pick on this map, right? You always have a Viper, but this time, neither EXO nor Force One.
Yeah.
I've seen Force One actually play that Viper multiple times, but they've chosen to go against it this time. I don't know how that's gonna work out for them. So far, not so good because Viper at least acts like a pseudo sentinel. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't have a sentinel. And there it is. Sai with one. Swings up for a second. Turns away for a third. And he's got one player behind him, but I don't think he's worried because he's got his teammates to support him. Blackhawk, although he goes down, he does not have anything to worry about.
Last player standing.
Wimp takes down Rafa. And that's probably going to be it, as Knight Rider coming in from all the way A. He knows exactly where he is Ghost. Dinks him down, sprays him down, puts him down.
2 rounds for Team EXO, a similar storyline that we got to see. I guess in the map split as well, Team EXO got the first start, but it doesn't really matter. This is where things really start popping off, right? Team Force One, they have a full buy for them. But just like I mentioned, this composition seems to work well on attack. And they're already struggling. They're already struggling to get information. They're already struggling to get those players blinded. They for sure did manage to get into side pretty comfortably in the first round. But after that, they have been struggling to keep up with Team EXO and their constant constant chase for more real estate. Look at this, Nitride. He actually has support from the breach as well. Ghost is gonna wall him off, but no, that actually puts Nitride on top. This is mad stuff, but no, Ghost drives by. This is absolutely impossible. Wimp. He gets another frag, but they get instantly traded off.
Oh, but ScarGod has heard this rotation coming in from Sai. Probably called it out. And even his turret is going to go down now. And as soon as ScarGod sees this, he's going to call it out to his teammate Shivy that we can walk into way. There's nothing to worry about here. But the second he pops those nanoswarms, Sai is going to know. And Blackhawk is going to be on the prowl. They're going to go check for it maybe. They need to check showers. ScarGod is on it. He might just find a kill. Blackhawk completely unaware. And he's going to go down. He's going to eat damage, Shivy. But he's going to be okay to take the plant. Because he's got nobody to stop him. Sai too far away, and now too far gone. Ghost, the only man standing, has a Phantom. Makes it sing. He's got one more to go. ScarGod is on 150 HP. Ghost is on 100, but it's not about that right now. It's about who gets the first hit on the head. He's got an X on his crosshair right now, and X marks the spot for sure. Really hope that he finds that spot on the face of ScarGod, because he needs to tap it. Here comes the tap, but ScarGod will not peek. He knows that he's not on the defuse. And now he dinks him. Both of them are dinked. ScarGod lower than Ghost, but it doesn't matter. It's all about one bullet. And ScarGod knows that he does not need to give it away. And even though his life is gone, the time is also far too gone. And Ghost knows nothing but to look up to the heavens, because that's exactly where the spike sent him.
Yeah, pretty much. Lovely work by ScarGod over there, and it's interesting that Ghost and ScarGod, they simultaneously dink each other. Both of them were reduced to like what, 20 something HP, but ScarGod was really wise and composed enough to not let that round get away. He just bought himself that as much time as required. But Team EXO, if you look at them overall, they've looked very, very strong. That should have been a bonus round. That was a bonus round for Team EXO, and in spite of that happening, they brought it to a 1v1, right? And that just speaks volume. Yeah, that's a lineup. That's a lineup, Universe.
That's a beautiful lineup indeed. Something that I'm gonna definitely keep in mind. ScarGod, though, he's gonna take down.
You wouldn't be able to
and...
pull it off.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. We're gonna look. In that, I'm still remembering that 1v1, by the way. We're gonna see if I pull it off there or not. But right now, Blackhawk. Oh wait, what?
Barbecue?
Barbecued indeed. Molotov kill comes in, unfortunately, for ScarGod, not for Blackhawk. But now Blackhawk has to defend against two. Gets only, actually does not get anything. Ghost finds one actually. He's looking in the right direction to find one more. Land is gonna go down. The grenade to deny it. It's gonna hit a little bit to Shivy, but there's so much damage being done on both sides. Rafa finds one. And now in the 2v2, there is a revive available for Ghost, and he think he might just go for it. There it is, he goes, but he gets caught off guard. Wimp, he finds one. Excali's still alive because
this
Wimp...
is so damn unfortunate. Oh my word. There was this guy who is jumping in the air, who's been brought back to life. An easy target to kill. He would spray him down 9 times out of 10 every single day of the week, but then, just as he was about to do that, his gun decides, no, I'm going to run out of bullets, and I'm going to put you in a position where you won't be able to recover.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, that it happens to the best of us. We really don't understand sometimes how these bullets run away from our mags, but they do. And because of that, Force One have given away another round. It's not gonna hurt them too much. But right now, an exchange of information between both of these teams as Wimp and RBK exchange recons, and now the rest of the gang of Force One is running up towards A. Sai. A sheriff duel between two people over here. Shivy and Sai. Shy Sky. Yeah, give me a tongue twister because I can't say anything.
Alright, it does happen. But Sai, again, with the sheriff, yet to actually make a difference over there. But the Hunter's Fury actually comes through. It doesn't even matter because Excali's gonna get everybody. Goes to Excali.
Knight Rider.
Destroy.
Wait, Knight Rider had the knives, but he missed it.
He whiffed it. He whiffed it. I saw it. I was about to ignore it because, I mean, for sure, just like we talk about, it happens to the best of us. It's my bread and butter, but it happens to the best of us, and I just don't want to talk about it. Xcali did a pretty good job over there, getting a 3K. On
You
top
could
of the
see the
shot.
knives go past him, like they just flew in the air, like poof.
It's so unfortunate. That man was so close, and the right click should have been potent enough to get the
Yeah.
kill. But then the knives decided,
Everybody,
nah,
I think nobody has a right click right now more than Knight Rider. Oh my god.
you gotta sharpen your knives. You gotta train them to fly in the right directions. But Wim,
How do
again,
you train your knives to fly in the right direction if you sharpen
I
them?
don't know. I absolutely don't know. But for sure, Wimp knows how to fall back. Because look at this. Rafa is running with a showstopper, and there's somebody who runs in with their Rolling Thunder as well. Rafa's gonna destroy Sai over there. Anti-force one gets complete side control. Ghost actually comes in through teleporters. He gets away with Rafa. This is not possible. This should not have actually happened. Knight Rider still running past Elbow and taking Wimp as well with him. 3v4 right now. 2 ultimates available from the side of Team EXO and 1 orbital strike. That can be very, very crucial. 1 astral divide on the side of Team Force One, but I don't really think they're going to use it. They won't be able to use it because Skargot will be taken down, and here comes a big bad rocket launcher. Xcali takes him down. Aftershock gets Blackhawk, and RVK comes through. He gets Ghost. 1v2 right now. Xcali trying to be a little cheeky, trying to dodge that fault line. Does have the smoke play with 1 tap on a Chevy. Does land the shot on a Chevy, but RVK through the smoke. That's a classic.
Yeah, that was a little too tight for Xcali to get out of. He had good positioning over Chivy, but he had RVK waiting for him across the smoke, so that pretty much would have been a one and done situation from him, and it was in the end. But the thing about that round, the B execute was actually pretty good from the side of Force One. They took control. That 2 ultimates being committed for that round, both by Rafa and by Chivy. The Rolling Thunder gave Sai nowhere to escape, and Rafa cleared it up with his showstopper. They knew exactly where Sai was going to be playing. Beautiful, beautiful take of the site. And now RBK, he's going to throw in his Owl Drone to clear out a few angles, but right now he needs to worry about something else, and that is that Killjoy ultimate. And he's going to worry about it just good enough for him to take it out. He takes it out. Blackhawk still on the side, much and very alive. Wimp takes out 1. Blackhawk finds 2 in the spray down. Skargot is able to return the favor, but Rafa in the U-Haul position is going to give 1 hell of a shot to Sai with his judge. 2v3, they're pushing up towards defender side spawn. Ghost waiting on the return. They can't line up for him, but it's gonna be Wimp to help him out over there just a bit, as EXO put up 5th on the board, and they have had a very strong defensive line and a little bit of a confusion, I must say, for the side of Force One, because if you looked at it carefully over there, Salty, the fact that in the middle of the round, Blackhawk was sitting dead center. He was in front of short, and he was sitting there completely unharmed, and he found a 2K spray down so easily until Skargot had to take him down, right? And that's something that shouldn't be happening, because you need to have somebody to clear that angle. Rafa had already made it through to U-Haul, and he didn't even check the site. There needs to be somebody on the side from the side of F1, or that's going to be completely useless, because there's always going to be somebody creeping up on you.
Through that, Fallen comes through, blinds a lot of these players, but Wim, he's still gonna peek that angle. This is absolutely crazy. Gravity will come through as well. A lot of these players, they try and challenge different angles. Ghost on top, he is a god. He gets everybody. Even Xcali comes through as well. The classic duel comes in. Fancy footwork from Xcali right there, but Chivy. Wait, did he land a 360?
Okay.
Oh my god, these guys.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll take it. I'll take it any time of the day. That 360 is just a little bit of a showboating over here from our man Ghost. Wait, was that Xcali? No, Xcali? Yeah, it was.
No,
Chivy. My
it
bad.
was Chivy.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. I thought Xcali was the one doing it in the air.
Generally,
he went 360 as well.
I mean, generally it should be Xcali pulling off all those moves, but nonetheless, doesn't really matter. Look at the scoreline. 6-2 the scoreline. Ghost again putting a very aggressive wall, but it's going to be broken anyway. He has been pushed back a lot of real estate. to work with for Team Force 1. You look at Team EXO, right? It's their general tendency to push out all these angles. You look at Xkali, he always pushes out Showers. Ghost tries to push up Hookah as well, but Knight Rider assist from Breach as well with the fault line. Wimp from the back of side. What can he possibly pull off? Knight Rider trying to challenge him, and he gets Wimp over there. Wimp does bring down Shivy in the process, but that's about it. A 3v3 right now, but things are still in favor of Team EXO at this point because Blackhawk is in the back lines and nobody's aware of it. Now, if Xkali and Blackhawk can time this retake to perfection, they can possibly pull this off. There's a drone right there. I don't think it's gonna spot Blackhawk, or is it? Nah, it's not gonna.
No, it's
RVK, Blackhawk is the opportunity, and he gets RVK. This is almost done and dusted. Knight Rider, he actually gets Xkali as well. Even Sai, making it 4. Knight Rider might be looking for his ace as well. Molotov comes in, Rafa, as well as Knight Rider. It's gonna be a little too difficult, and Knight Rider, he gets the ace. This man makes a difference, and that is one of the reasons why he is in the MVP standings. And I guess after this game, he might even topple SK Rossi at the top. Deservedly, so he deserves that spot.
Ooh, an ace that he definitely needed for his team right now. It's been quite a bit of a showcase for him so far. Quiet showcase, rather. Knight Rider hasn't been living up to his potential in this match, but that round was something that his team desperately needed, and he gave it to them. And with that ace, it's a bit of a confidence boost that they're going to be playing with. They're taking engagements again towards Hookah, where Shivy is waiting for his fault line, and Knight Rider waiting to dash in, but the wall is not going to let him do that. As soon as the wall comes in, Knight Rider knows that there's going to be at least 2 players over there. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. Blackhawk finds a kill. He pushes up and gets a kill onto A short. His team is going to thank him for that man advantage that he's gifted them. And there is going to be no stage to revive anybody either. Sai, it doesn't matter what agent he's wielding. He's going to be so potent with that operator. Takes down one more for his team. And Rafa coming into Showers. No lineup for you, says Blackhawk. Takes out him very convincingly. And Sai with the third. It's almost like they're having a hunting ground right now, and they're just sitting and watching as ducks come by in front of them in the sky, and they're just popping them one after the other with their hunting gun.
Have you played Arcade Universe?
Duck Hunt? You're talking about Duck Hunt? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I had this game. I don't know what generation console it was. You used to get these targets.
Not from.
You get these birds flying across your screen, and you had to aim your gun and you had to shoot them. Yeah, this was one of those rounds where Force One, they had no idea what they were doing. Honestly, they were shut down in Hookah region because of a single wall. They decided to try and bench it out in the A shot as well, but there was no utility coming through. They had no information to work with it.
This wall, oh no!
They kind of screwed up the wall a little bit, but Knight Rider has actually been pushed off because of that, because of the paint shell. Now Sai is still holding this angle with the op, but it has been kind of been nullified because of the smoke as well. I'm trying to look at what Force One is trying to pull off at this point. There's no presence towards Showers apart from RVK over there. Knight Rider actually pushes up. Nice flash, but he whips it once again. He himself has been flashed as well. Rafa thankfully comes into his rescue. Even Kali is in this position as well. What can Sai possibly pull off? Such a close angle. He has a kill already, a 3v3 right now. 3 ultimates available, but no Rolling Thunder as of yet. The attackers, they're actually trying to play this just on the base of their guns. And now they take a teleport, and they try and move towards the B side where it's completely empty. Good stuff, but Team EXO, they have 1 ultimate available, and that's going to be the lockdown. They're going to pull 1 man back as well, and that basically means that this could be a very doable retake. Even Shivy tries to hit them from the back lines. He probably hears what Blackhawk is. He's going to catch him off guard. Nice stuff. Sai puts out the lockdown. Scargod waiting for him. A duel that we can wait to see. Oh my god, he runs out of bullets at the wrong time.
Knight Rider, he's on the back lines as well. They don't know this, and he gets detained. Oh no, both are detained. What did they just do? Force One, what just happened? Why would you do that?
Wait,
what?
I have no clue. Things haven't been working for Team Force One since the start of the day. And now, at the fag end of the lockdown, they decided to get detained and just give away the round, basically.
I don't think they decided to get detained. I don't know what exactly it was, but
yeah, exactly. I mean, they messed up the timing, right? They didn't decide to get detained. Of course, nobody does. If you're not salty.
If you're not salty, indeed. Salty wants to get detained, guys. Even if he's in the 1v4, he wants to get detained.
Dude, I want to have fun. I want to have fun.
By getting detained.
Dude, I'm not one of those.
You want to get knifed? You like getting knifed, huh? Because that's what happens when you get detained. Ooh, right now it's gonna be Blackhawk who might eat a little bit. He sends one back. The orbital strike to cover himself up, but he's still stuck in that corner. As EXO are trying to be a little aggressive. Blackhawk puts down the smoke, covers himself up, can go back towards A, and he will. Smart enough to do that. And now the side of Force One are aggressing towards Hookah, where they hear a lot of sound given out by the EXO players. The spike is here as well in the hands of Shivy, and Rafa is just waiting for that wall to break down. Ghost, he's got the B-Long in control. He's gonna be checked and he's gonna get killed. Knight Rider takes him out, and it's gonna be another B push coming in. Scally here to support his teammates. Tries to find Rafa mid-air, but Knight Rider runs and finds the head of Wimp. Blackhawk finally gonna come into the picture over here. Takes down one. It's still a 2v3 in the favor of Force One. They've got the plant on as well, but we just cannot count out the side of Force on the side of XO.
Absolutely, we cannot. Of course, the Astral Divide is still available, but at this point, I guess Blackhawk is less side. Both of them have been completely nullified. It's going to be very hard for them to make their way into side. And look at this. Who's in the back lines? It's going to be Knight Rider with his big bad sword. Shivy. I mean, Knight Rider isn't required right now. Shivy all by himself. He decides to spray them down, and he does it so beautifully. 8 for the scoreline, but we talked about this universe. The composition on the side of Team Force One doesn't really look defense-based. They had 2 initiators to work with. They don't really have a sentinel. So on paper, this is a much more attacking lineup. And in attack, their scoreline is 8-4. I'm not really sure how that works out in their defensive half right now. They only have 1 controller that can buy them space, and that would be the Astra. I'm pretty sure the Breach can do that as well with his flashes, and the Raze can do that a little bit with his Pain Shield and a Boombot. I guess that would be the tactic, but considering there's no, up and up Sentinel running in this lineup, this is going to be a bit difficult to actually hold back Team X. So, of course, the likes of Sai and Excali, they can absolutely bamboozle you. The spokes do come in. They started as well. And look at Excali. He already makes his way towards Lamb. And there is no way you can stop this man.
Yeah. They've got their site that they wanted. EXO have taken down A short all for themselves. And there goes the plan as well. A 5v5 retake coming in now. And it's gonna get a little bit dicey. The wall is being broken down as RVK spots out the turret, and it gives him a little bit tip damage. Not too much. And now here comes the force of Force One. They're gonna be running into U-Haul. Gunfire being weighted. Excali wants to go for it. He spots out one, and they know that he's got a shorty, so they're not gonna try and challenge him for it. But his Boombot will get one. Nafra and Knight Rider find each one. Gargot to add on to that. A Wimp with a 2K, and now in this situation where he's a 1v3, Wimp is just clearing up corners. Throws in the shock dart. It's just not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be even close to where Rafa was sitting. And my God, Force One, they somehow pulled back that retake. I really thought it was gonna go in the hands of XO. They did so much of work on that, but amazing, honestly, beautiful. I loved it.
Oof. I really want to breathe, universe. I really want to breathe at this point. This game is just way too interesting. I mean,
no, you know how you breathe? You just say inner breath, and outer breath.
Alright, guys, lame jokes nonetheless.
You just need to breathe in and breathe out, because you clearly said that you need to breathe. What have you been doing all this while in your life?
True that. True that. Look at Team EXO though. Blackhawk all by himself in the A shot. Knight Rider on top of the tube.
They need to breathe right now, EXO, because they've got a Force One coming in, waiting with weapons that is gonna damage them quite a bit, and Knight Rider is gonna inflict that first point of damage. And RVK with his Marshall is looking in the direction where Blackhawk could be peeking out any second as Rafa clears out B long, and the rest of EXO are making their way towards A. Skargod and RVK, the only points of defense over here, as they're gonna get rained upon now.
What is Team EXO planning at this point? They've tried to run down the clock as much as possible. They're trying to make this fast set piece execute, but all these players, they're just lining up. And that's just what's supposed to happen. I mean, you try and run down the clock, you try and delay your aggressive pushes. You just don't have enough time to plant the spike, right? And when you try and quicken the procedure, you just line up in front of your opposition. Not really sure what the plan was from Team EXO, but it didn't really work out, so there's no way that's gonna work anytime of the week. But you look at Team Force One, right, and they look very calm and composed. I love the fact that Knight Rider gets that first frag and he establishes that man advantage, and he really denies any sort of entry towards a B site, right? Couple it up with an Astra smoke. They did a good job holding the B side back, and that just forced Team EXO to abandon the B side, instead try and hit the A side. But they waited too much outside A short corridor, and I just don't know why, right? They deployed the smokes, they use the paint shields as well to try and clear out the default corners, but as soon as they try funneling in with approximately, what, 20 seconds on the clock, Skargod has an easy spray down, and of course all these players are just lined up for him. It's easy frags, and with that, Team Force One, they are slowly crawling back into this game on the universe.
Yeah, they are. They've put EXO on a Sheriff buy now, which I think they're not going to be too happy with, unless they find some beautiful shots, and Sai could be the first one to do so. Rafa, a little careful over there. Those bullets are very harmful. Excali is going to be experimenting just at how harmful these bullets of Sheriffs are. And he throws in the grenade just for a safe measure. And Rafa to return the favor, as he knew that he's going to come for the weapon. Wimp actually finds Rafa. And this is a B side that's going to be a little bit open for business unless Shivy says no. Gives him the flash, and Excali says nothing about it. He says, that flash isn't going to affect me, not even one bit. And RBK in his lineup, he gets the kill. And he's going to throw in, no, the drone. He was going to put it in, but he knew that the smoke was going to go away. So he ran away to safety. He gets another kill, and Scar got on the side. He crawled in, but it's not going to be alive for too long. And here comes the plant. RVK looking on top of the tube, thinking that somebody's going to peek out from there. But what he doesn't know is that on the right side, Blackhawk eats a bullet, and both of these players are low. And it is doable for RVK now. All he needs is one shot with a pistol. And if he has a Sheriff, yes, he does. It's going to get a little bit scary now. EXO, you better be careful.
They have a Hunter's Fury.
Not messing around.
Now, Team EXO, they actually have Hunter's Fury to play with. Yeah, that's what they're going to use, right? One tag, I basically think he's going to be dead. But RVK, that's going to be his duty. He really wants to buy time at this point. Through the woodworks, he gets whipped. Does he have enough time to defuse this? Not really sure he does. Poor man. He got a quad out of nothing. Shock darts, marshals, and sheriffs to work with. And this man reduces Team EXO to nothing. But I guess Wimp did fantastic over there. He knew he had the ultimate available. He knew he has the Hunter's Fury. He can just buy time for his team, and that's exactly what he did. He did get tagged, right? He was basically around, like, what, 20 HP, but he just had to stay put and put his lingering presence in the mind of RVK, and that's what he did.
Yep. It's about the mind games here, Salty, and it looks like EXO are playing that pretty well. RVK, he had a commendable round over there, but it just wasn't enough to push them over the line. This time, Knight Rider and Excali exchange bullets, but it's going to be Excali to range frame as he trades him out. Skargod and Wimp too. These trades coming in two extreme positions of the map. And Shivy, oh, he spots out Excali. Yes! Excali's going to need to run away, and he does. Shivy wants to go in for this. Oh, no. Excali, you need to be careful when you're playing against a breach, my friend. Even if he's got his hands out, you know there's a flash coming in. You need to connect your very first bullet, or you're gonna probably die. Wimp gets tagged down. Shark darts raining in. Blackhawk aware of it. And he's gonna go through the smoke to get it. What a beautiful play by him. He knew exactly what to do. And now Shivy, along with Rafa, has to pull off this retake, which is probably gonna give them a little bit of room to fight with. And if they don't win this, it's gonna hurt them heavily. Wimp is gonna say no to them fighting as he takes on Rafa. And now Shivy, left with less than half HP, is gonna have to do it all by himself.
A similar situation, Universe. Look at this. Shivy, the last one who is surviving. Wimp as well as Blackhawk. Blackhawk has an orbital strike available, but he doesn't need it because he's gonna spray down, or rather tap down Shivy as he wants to drive by him. 10-6 the scoreline in Team EXO. They are rolling at this point. They are inching closer and closer to a 2-0 victory against Team Force One. We mentioned how Team EXO, they have been struggling to get results their way, but in this season of the Gauntlet, they have really proved themselves. In this lineup, especially with the addition of Ghost, they have shown their true colors, and right now, the results are coming in. We talked about how Force One would be one of the first big opponents that they face with this new lineup, and for sure, they are making sure that they entertain us all. Knight Rider, with an aggressive dash, he actually wants to go after Wim. They're actually trying to get as aggressive as possible. Rafa through the teleport with the frenzy. This is an eco round aggression, and RB can delete this man. And there's another guy who is facing. It's not even facing at him.
Oh my, what? Wow, I love
What
that.
just happened?
They pushed up from B. They went towards B long to get a teleport. They pushed up in showers. They pushed up in A short. They knew that there's going to be EXO players around that A short position. They pinched them in from 3 different directions and completely obliterated them. And now EXO are left to fend off a B side, which I think Excali can do pretty well. He dodges the Hunter's Fury, but here comes his own showstopper. And it's not gonna do a lot of damage, but they know what he can do with his weapon. RVK again left alone to fend off for himself and his team. 1v2, eats a lot of bullets, eats the Molotov, and dies to it. Another barbecue session for Blackhawk as number 11 comes on for Team EXO.
Yeah, barbecue session for Blackhawk indeed. I mean, this man has been burning his opponents alive for quite a long time right now, and he's been doing that perfectly. You look at the way they try and go about this defensive side, right? Team Force One, they push out so many different angles, and they do definitely catch Team EXO off guard. But then the likes of Excali and others, the way they capture the B site was impeccable, and then they'd start defending it with their mighty will, and they do so perfectly. I feel like Excali did a fantastic job in Hookah as well, and the others just fend off all the aggression that comes in from B long. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Once again, we start off from an aggression, or rather a utility exchange from a short corridor as well. Excali dancing across the pitch, and he gets Shivy. Beautiful, beautiful stuff right there. Showstopper comes in, doesn't really connect. Scargod gets 2 of his own. There's a lot of kills that's been happening, a lot happening in this A side. Finally, in the end, it's Team Force One. They're getting things in their way. It should be a 1v2, should be comfortable for Team Force One, unless Blackhawk decides to actually pull off something of his own. Knight Rider's at the op. Would want to go for a ninja plan.
A ninja plant? Are you serious? I mean,
I like to call it
smoke bubble in the center of the side. You know that's where it's planted.
Nah, I like to call it a ninja plant because you can fend off the Nitrite op that way, but
ooh, Blackhawk needs to be careful. He knows there's a player behind him now, and he goes for it. And he's got 2 different angles to watch out for. Gets under the hookah position, and he knows that this is probably the best for him, because Knight Rider cannot kill him over here, and he gets the kill on to Scargod. He knows where Knight Rider is, and he jumps him and kills him.
You just can't teach.
Absolutely, some things you just can't teach, Blackhawk, and that is something that you need to learn from Blackhawk itself, because he definitely is the master of this little session that he's taken. Most of it is with barbecue, but this time F1, they gotta take a page out of his book and learn how to play you know, the jumping classic, or how to play positional advantage and make yourself available for individual 1v1s. Isolated 1v1s, actually. Beautiful. What a guy. He knows exactly how to play this game, and that's exactly why he's called one of the best controllers in the country. Blackhawk puts them onto match point now, Salty, and this is getting a lot more interesting, because Sai has already taken down 1. Rafa Did he? Okay, he almost. Oh, he went to nade himself. Okay. I think.
I mean, at that point, he knew he was dying. He knew he was dead meat. He
So he
possibly
wanted to
couldn't
add
do.
on to his own
Yeah,
fire.
you want to add on to it, exactly. Lockdown comes through RVK all by himself. The Rolling Thunder as well. These aftershocks, this utility that's being bombarded right now, but nothing can actually push past Blackhawk. His control over lamps has been established already. Most of these
Knight
players.
Rider.
I'm
He
not sure.
disconnected. Yeah. Oh.
He-
Oh no. Knight Rider's
he's-
been disconnected. Shivy is gonna have to fight it all by himself. It's gonna be the end of this game, ladies and gentlemen, as he is gonna be against 3 players of EXO who
Oh.
pretty much are done and dusted. Okay, 1 kill. Ghost around the
Last
corner.
player standing.
But he's not gonna let him do anything more. EXO have won this one out. And it is a 2-0 victory. The Hunter's Fury is coming in by the hand as he's shooting it out in the air whim. And there's nothing they can do. Knight Rider, unfortunately, has lagged out towards B-Long. And he is gonna have to watch as his team gives away the victory to the side of
Attackers
EXO.
win.
EXO with a 13-6 victory. Split and Bind both in their hands. And what a way to win it.
Absolutely. I feel like Team EXO, they made a statement that they're here for domination right now, and they are certainly exhibiting the dominance at this point, taking down the likes of Force One, who is probably one of the best in the country at this point. You mentioned they were the second runners-up of last season, so beating them in their home turf of Bind. Team EXO also excelled in the map split as well. They are going from strength to strength, and for sure they exhibited their strength in this one. We'll have a look at the match highlights and we'll try and understand what really went through. But Universe, one common maneuver that I found out from Team EXO was that constant drive for map control. They try and push out way too much and try to do 2 things. They try and establish that man advantage. Sai pushing up and Excali pushing up, Blackhawk pushing up. They all want to get that initial frag and they want to establish that additional dominance that they have over the opposition, number 1. And for sure, they want more map control. They don't want to give the opposition any sort of space to work with. And that just works so well for them. I feel like this team with 1 controller and 2 sentinels, they wonderfully lock down sites with their utility. And even in their attacking side, I feel like they were tactically so much superior to Team Force One that
Yeah, they were.
they just couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that Force One. I mean, I don't really know what was going on with them today, but they clearly were
Yeah.
looking like themselves. They had a lot of different variabilities that just threw them off. And EXO were they were so good in the way that they were cutting them through. How many times did we see a 1v2 tagged down to a 1v1 and then EXO actually won it out? Blackhawk just did that 2 rounds ago. And then there was Excali who almost brought it back. There was Sai who almost got it 1 round. It's just so many rounds where F1, I don't really know what was hitting them, but it wasn't really all that good. And they weren't on their best today. EXO got the better of them pretty easily, to be honest, because I really think that Force One could have given a much better fight. They didn't even make it to double digits. And I really thought, if at all, this is going to be a 2-0. This is probably going to be a 13-10 or 13-11 game. But the tactical prowess of EXO was just so good. They had everything that they needed. And even though there were moments of brilliance coming in from the side of Force One, like Knight Rider getting this ace for himself, it just wasn't enough. They did whatever they could. They try to take map control, but EXO are masters of getting map control. They like to be in your face. They like to take aggressive pushes so that they get map control in their favor. And they won't let you do so because they play on their basic ability of having control of regions in the map that can allow them to surgically insert their duelists and get them to make the work happen. And then they follow up with their secondary agents who need to come in from behind, who need to support, and even they can kill. And that's the thing about EXO. They've got players who can individually pull out plays, who can pull out plays in a 2 versus 5 situation, in a 3 versus 5 situation, or whatever situation it is you put them in. A team that has been improving since the day that they've been put up together, And like you said, Salty, with the addition of Ghost, a young blood who's been having such a great time with this team, is just pushing them on further up into the sky. And this, honestly, this round was probably one of my favorites. Blackhawk, what a guy.
Absolutely. I mean, the smoke was so crucial for him. It actually did buy him time to, isolate these two frags. He basically cut off the side in two different halves so that he could isolate the frag from CT as well as from Hookah. But nonetheless, we did talk about how Team EXO did play, right? They started off on the map split. They absolutely destroyed Team Force One 30-7. For sure, there was a moment where it looked like Team Force One can actually mount a comeback with 4 back-to-back rounds, but then that was about it. Team EXO, they recovered from that economic grave that we talked about, and that one round, it just changed things up. And once they got that, I believe it was the 10th or the 11th round on board, there was no stopping this team. In the map of Bind of Team EXO, they looked so much superior in every single facet of the game. Of course, when you have players like Excali, when you have players like Sai, who is just absolutely popping off, there's not much that you need to do. Of course, we know what Blackhawk pulled off. I love the fact that Excali was so brave about just basically dancing his way into side. And even if he dies, there's a flamboyant player in the form of Blackhawk who is always there to trade for him. And Team EXO, speaking of trades, they were always the team who had the better trades, isn't it, Universe?
Yep, I have to agree with you there, Salty. It's been quite a bit of a matchup between these two, and EXO have turned out to be the better side, clearly by leaps and bounds. And Force One need to go back to the drawing board because they might have qualified for the playoffs, but if they continue to play this way, I'm not too sure how far they're gonna go this season because this is just about the time where you should not be dropping down in your form, and this is about the time where you really need to push through, punch, and make your way to show that you have what it takes to be on the top. Let's have a look at the group standings though to see how exactly things have turned out. As EXO are gonna be making their way onto the 12-point mark and 6 wins, finishing off their group stages in style as F1 are going to go below Team Valor. That is something that I don't think
Ooh.
they wanted. Valor have improved leaps and bounds this time. And because F1 have got 3 losses, they're going to be on that 10 points mark. But don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we still have Global Esports to play 2 more games. And that probably is going to be one against Team Cohesion and one against Outset Esports. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be the story of this group. Group B has been quite a bit of a story so far. There's just 2 matches left. There is Global versus Cohesion and Global versus Outset. The rest of the teams have solidified their positions. If at all we see Cohesion pull off a miracle, they're going to just stay where they are. They're not going to move up or down. But if Outset beat Global, then they're going to probably move up. And we're going to have to wait and see if that's going to happen because Global, I don't think they want to have any more losses or black marks in their run so far because last season they were unbeaten. This season they were beaten pretty early on. So, yeah, we're going to have to see what exactly is going to happen at the end of this salty bit. For today, we are done and dusted. We finished off an amazing series of matches today. It was just a lot of action, a lot of drama as we're heading into the climax of the group stages of the Tec Gauntlet Season 2. And I really hope that everybody watching enjoyed. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you did. Hit the bell notification icon as well because we're going to have matches like these every single day. And go down to the description and check out the products that our sponsors are offering because they're at great prices. And if you want to get an upgrade and play like the pros, this is your time to go ahead and get those products. And not to forget, go ahead and scan that QR code that keeps popping up on the bottom right of your screen to get the Red Bulls that you need to keep yourself energized every single day to keep up with these matches. Me and Salty do, and we're going to be enjoying the rest of the matches that are going to be coming our way further on as we're going to reach the playoffs pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the LG Ultragear presents Tec Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant, and we're going to catch you tomorrow with a new set of action-packed games.